There are some lies and misconceptions going around in the United States of America about real estate, and we're gonna break down an article about this. She is a realtor, so it'll be good to see her opinion. Headline is, many Americans remain misinformed about interest rates and home prices. We're gonna put this in context to our local market, which is like the Venice, Sarasota areas. So, according to a new study from Real Estate, which Americans remain exceedingly misinformed about home prices, as 73% don't think homes are affordable right now, yet 60% actually underestimate the median home sale price. Just 1 in 7 Americans, an estimated 14%, know the current median home sales price falls between $4,000 and $499,000. Some 23% believe the median home costs between $200,000 and $299,000. While another 23% think it costs between $300,000 and $399,000. So they're off the mark by 100 to 200K.
Yeah, and that's heavily dependent on location and size of the home as well.
Yeah, I mean, if you want something on the beach, you're not gonna be in that price range. That's we've had to break that to a few people. Like, well, I want to live close to the beach and or on the water and under 300,000.
Walking distance.
Yeah, and it's just like, that's not possible unless you want a place that basically needs to be rebuilt from the ground up.
Yeah, and just to give you a little more information, like in Venice, to be walkable to the beach on a single family home, you have to spend almost $1 million, if not more, like depending on how close you want to be.
Yeah, you can maybe do 3/4 to a mile away and get closer to 600, maybe 700, depending on again the size and all that kind of stuff.
Or
the
a
age.
condo for a lot less.
Right, exactly, condo. So yeah, just something to consider. But yeah, it's crazy that many people think that. I mean, everyone knows the market went crazy in the last 2 years. So the fact that many people think that prices went up and they're still sitting in that range is wild. Give us some context about where you think what price range people should expect to pay in our area.
It really depends what you're looking for, but I would say for the median home sales price in the Venice, Sarasota area, it's around $350 to $450.
Next part. This is just step one of the craziness. There's some more stuff that when you hear it, you're gonna be like, what? Despite underestimating current home prices, 76% of non-homeowners are concerned about rising home prices. New research showed that just 12% of Americans know the current interest rate for a 30-year mortgage sits around 7%. Roughly 43% believe the rate is higher, with 1 in 4 or 26% believing it exceeds 10%. I mean, think about the difference that would make in your mortgage payment.
Yeah.
If it was 10%.
Right, definitely. I mean, it's almost close. I mean, 7.5%, but
yeah, I guess.
And granted, if you're not looking for a home, you don't pay as much attention to those things. But I feel like it's everywhere right now. Like everyone's talking about the rising interest rates.
It's interesting though, putting a little more thought into this. They probably have a pretty good ballpark idea of maybe what their monthly mortgage cost would be, because they're estimating mortgage rates higher but houses lower, so maybe it's balancing out to what it actually would be.
Right, yes.
So yeah, that was crazy to me.
That's unbelievable, very unbelievable that people are that misinformed about our current market.
Although a third of non-homeowners, 31% say they're knowledgeable about the home buying process, and 43% say they're knowledgeable about mortgages, 62% wrongly think it's required to put 20% down on a home. In fact, 21% believe buyers need to put down more than 20%. That's not been a thing for how long?
It's been a while.
5, at least 10 years?
Probably even longer.
I don't know. You would know. She has a background in loans before doing real estate.
Yeah, and it's been. I mean, for a second home, yes, you do need. If you're an investor, you do need 20% down. But if it's your primary home, you can go as low as 3% to 5%. It's interesting that not a lot of people know that, because I think if more people knew, maybe they would take advantage of that. Instead of paying their landlord's rent, they would pay to start establishing their own wealth.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, really. More than anything. I mean, you think you need 20% down, that's a big chunk of change on even a $250,000 home. You talk about 3% versus that, like for a lot of people that's probably attainable, and they just don't know that.
Yes.
So hopefully you happen to catch this video, now you do, or some other information that tells you that.
Share this video to spread some knowledge
with everyone. Don't do it for us though. Yes. Do it for them.
Yeah.
Home buyers are required to pay private mortgage insurance if they don't put 20% down, giving a little more context to that. However, 85% of Americans don't know what PMI is, including 83% of current homeowners. So explain PMI.
So private mortgage insurance is basically if you don't have the 20% down payment, which I can see now why people think that you need the 20% down payment, the lender needs to insure you, hence private mortgage insurance. They need to insure you in case you default on your mortgage. And this is only about $100, $200 tops a month, depending on the size of the home and cost of the home and everything else. But basically, once you meet that 20%, and this is something that a lot of people have a misconception too, they think that when you have private mortgage insurance, it's throughout the life of the loan, so 15 or 30 years. It's not. Once you meet that 20%, the lender is going to drop the insurance unless you're FHA, then you have to refinance to get that off. But usually refinancing is not really a big deal, unless you're
not making your payments.
Yeah, defaulting on the loan or the market crashes or whatever. But as long as you keep making your payments, once you get to that 20%, PMI is gonna come off.
Data found that 1/3 of Americans, 32%, say a credit score of at least 700 is necessary to purchase a home. In reality, home buyers can qualify for a conventional loan with a score of 620. That I actually didn't know myself. But again, I think that's another one that's like unfortunate for some people that maybe think they couldn't qualify that could.
Yes. With FHA, it can be as low as in the 500s
Oh, wow. Okay.
So the only thing though is a lot of times if your credit is lower, the lender might require a higher down payment because they might see you as a risk. They're taking a risk on you, and you would probably only qualify for like an FHA loan instead of a conventional. Could qualify for a conventional if you do have like a higher down payment though.
Here's another one with her being a realtor. Like we've had to debunk a lot of this with people, or we get comments on YouTube sometimes with this too, and we're like trying to tell people, but the seller typically pays agent commission for the home buyer, but 62% of Americans think the buyer pays their agent's commissions. This misunderstanding could be why 65% of Americans wrongly think home buyers can save money by not working with a real estate agent. So if you're looking to buy a home, call or text her. She'll help you out. And if you're looking to buy or sell something in the area, and it does not cost you any money. That money's already gonna get paid regardless. It gets paid by the seller.
Yes. The other misconception is when working with a builder. People think that if you bring a realtor to the builder to represent you, they think that the buyer will pay the realtor's commission, and it's no, like the agent's commission is already included in that sales price. Whether you bring an agent or not, you're paying for it. The builder's agent doesn't have your best interest in mind. They want to make their employer happy. Our job as a realtor is we want to make our buyer happy. We don't care about the builder. We do care about the builder, right? Obviously, but we want to make sure you're protected.
Yeah,
so
that's priority one,
yes,
basically.
And you're not paying anything out of pocket. You're not paying any more or any less for working with a realtor.
Yeah, and a lot of people think you're going to get like a better deal. Not really. But, in fact, you probably have a better chance of getting a deal by working with a realtor because they kind of know the ins and outs when you have the opportunity to get a better price on the sale, and maybe talk to the builder and get maybe a little bit of money knocked off, or what kind of incentives are out there. All those sort of things come from being knowledgeable at the local market and the builders within that market. So the survey also found that respondents underestimate the age of the average home buyer. The average age of the first-time home buyer is 36, but 73% believed it was younger. I would have been one of those people. I would have thought it was a little bit younger than 36 personally. Yeah, I would have guessed average age, I would have put it at like 32.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was older.
Really?
Yeah.
For first time, huh?
Yeah. A lot of millennials are having having trouble like for how long trying to purchase a home, and now they're again priced out of the market.
Yeah. And maybe I'm basing that on like a lot of the friends that are my age that they bought closer to that maybe age 32, and now that's shifting though. Interesting. And could be the area we're coming from too, smaller town in Wisconsin originally.
To clarify, I thought it was older than what the age you said, not older than 36. So I think 36 is pretty accurate.
You thought it was about that, okay. So with misinformation being dispersed left and right, it's not surprising that 83% of homeowners were surprised by parts of the home buying process. 65% had to adjust their budget, and 63% had to adjust their priorities. And I think that's, you know, really important to think about if you're looking at buying or selling a home, especially buying a home, is you're gonna have to adjust your priorities on certain things. I mean, everyone's got their little bucket list of things that they'd like. Oh, I gotta have this square footage. I want it to be on the beach. You know, I want, and you're gonna have to give or take on the budget, on maybe the size, maybe the age, maybe the location. Like all those things go into a big pot and make the price what it is, or you know, make it attainable or not for you.
And not every home is going to check all your boxes. So keeping an open mind of, you know, if I can get this home for this price, which is maybe a little bit more or maybe a little bit less than my budget, but I can make it my own later on, then, you know, just keeping an open mind, just because odds are you're not going to 100% like what you find.
Yeah, and I think also if, you know, you could maybe get everything you want, and even then not for sure if you have the big, you know, a really big budget, then yeah, you could probably get everything you want. But even then, like, there's probably gonna be one or two things about the home that just about checks all the boxes, and there's just gonna be like those one or two things.
There's always one thing.
Yeah, so, you know, it's really tough to get everything, you know, all the boxes checked, much less for, you know, a lot of people, I think they have these kind of pie in the sky ideas of what they want. So it's important to, you know, understand what you're getting into, what's out there, what the prices are, and then chew on that for a little while and say, okay, what are the things I'm willing to be flexible on or give up, or, you know, what are the must-haves, and then everything else I'm gonna be flexible with. I think, you know, 2 or 3 things are must-haves, and then after that you gotta have a little flex if your budget's not according to what it needs to be.
If you're looking to buy or sell a home in the Venice, Sarasota areas, make sure to call, text, or email us. I am a local realtor here, 941-221-1897.
Call or text anytime, whether you're looking to move in the next few days or the next few months. We'll always have your back. We hear from people all the time, and we love it. If you want to know more about moving to Florida, check out this playlist right here. We go over a lot of the things that you should be putting into your process as far as planning, checking out areas, all that, and subscribe and turn on all notifications to catch the newest videos where we give you more information about different neighborhoods, home buying process, articles like this, and a lot more.
Thanks for watching, and
Live breezy.